In this video, I'll show you how you can get up and running using Zapier by covering the basics or the what you need to know to be up and running within 10 to 15 minutes. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them below. I tend to reply within a few minutes to a couple of hours, and I'll leave all links to any tools I use in the description below. Hello, my name is Marty Englander from Brainy Automations, where I teach people how to set up practical modern day automations to help free up your workload and automate your content creation at scale. Let's head over to Zapier, where we can just have a quick look at the interface. So this is the first thing that you're going to see. On the left, you have your main navigation. To the right, you have the AI Zap Creator, which we'll talk about shortly. We have our unfinished Zap, recent Zaps, and then some template and other Zapier add-ons. Now let's jump over to the Zap area and we'll start getting into the nitty-gritty. First, we'll click Create and then Zaps. When you get to this screen, you're going to see these three options. If you're new to Zapier, I'd actually recommend using this AI feature, because what it does is it will show you the best tools to use to complete certain automations. And what I mean by that is you can talk to it in plain English to connect things together to create the integration. So an example of that is new Facebook page post update Google Sheets. So on the left, once you enter that information of ultimately what you're trying to achieve with the automation, the Copilot will show up and it will start thinking and it will give you recommendations. So the recommendation here is the trigger will be when the new post to your timeline in Facebook pages, create a spreadsheet row in Google Sheet, and then we can simply add it to the page just like that. So it's a pretty nifty feature and really helpful if you're new to everything. But you're probably thinking, what on earth are these things, and is there a specific order we need to follow? How do we add more apps and stuff like that? So let me walk you through it. No matter what automation you're creating, you're always going to have to start with step one, and we call step one the trigger. The trigger is the thing that activates everything else below it, and all the things below it are what we call actions. So step one is the thing that activates everything, and then step 2 and 3 is the next step things that happen. An example is when we click on here, we'll have all of these different options. Let's say we want to track our Facebook pages, and then when there's a new post on our timeline, which we can click here, or we can do a new post by you, or even a new comment, we can do continue. Then we would connect our account just by clicking the connect button here, and we would select a page. So we've selected one of this demo page right here. We can then do continue and test. And now what we see is all of this test data. Now right here you see 3 options, and this is because there's been 3 new posts on my page recently. These highlighted fields are exactly that, specific data that's storing the information next to it. And every single data name that we've got here, we can actually target in our other actions down below. Let me show you what I mean. We'll click continue with selected record. We then want to create a Google Sheet, so we'll do continue and we'll connect our account. We'll do continue, and then we need to connect a spreadsheet. I've gone ahead and created a demo Google Sheet document, so we've got a sheet that we can populate. So we'll head back to Zapier, click on choose value, and then select demo. We'll select the worksheet, which is sheet 1. And now because we have these fields or these headers inside our Google Sheet, it's being pulled in right here. So we have these input fields that we can add information from any of the steps before it. We can't do it after this specific action because it's not yet run. So we'll always have to be behind of where we want to do it or connect relevant information. So for the Facebook post, we're going to click, and inside it, or inside the Facebook post column, I want the message. And right here, it says message. We can see this is the entire message for that Facebook post. So I'll select it. And now this is what we call a dynamic piece of data, because it will change to the relevant post that the trigger has found. So let's say day 1, you post a Facebook post about cars. Well, this will then trigger and this area will be populated with that message about cars. Let's say day 2, it will be about dogs, Again, this will trigger and then it will find the relevant information of that specific post about dogs and it will populate it here. And this is how it does it without us. Then for the URL, well, I want the URL of the Facebook link and this is the link. So we'll put that in and there we have it. And then for the date posted, we'll also log that as well and we'll pull it right here. Now let's say we don't like this date posted here because the format's all odd. So instead of letting it just be inputted like this, what we can do is we can, in between these two steps, add a step and then click format. For the event, we can do date and time, continue, then click transform, format, and we'll select the input, which is from step 1, which is the created time date. We can change it to format and it will give us all of these different formatted dates that we can do. So we'll just do month, day, year. You can also select your time zone and then do continue. We'll do test step and just like that, it's giving us the formatted date. So we can move on to the next action, go back to the action area, remove that previously selected data field of date from our Facebook post. And in step 2, which is the formatted option, we can now add the output there. So that will give us the date that we now want in the format that we need. Then we can do continue. And this is where we can test it to make sure it all works. So let's do test step. If we have a look, that data has now been added into our Google Sheet. We have the Facebook post, we have the URL of the post, and we have the date posted. Then at the top, you can name this something like Facebook to Google Sheets. And when you want it to run, simply do publish. And there you have it. That will be running without you. Now in the left sidebar, you can look at if there's any linked asset, like if you're using the tables or the interfaces add-ons that Zapier offer. And if you're not sure what they are, we'll get into that in another video. Just comment below letting me know that's what you'd like. You can also look at the details, for example, what folder this Zap is in. And if you've got a teammate plan, you can also create your own template. You can add notes for your teammates or changes that have happened so you just know what's going on with the Zap. This will show you all of the change history so you know exactly what's been going on, and this will show you how many times it's been run and whether it's been successful or not. And then you can even filter it, click on it, and review every step of the process. So that is how basic it is to set up a Zap. But what if you wanted the easier way of doing it? So Zapier actually have Copilot, and I briefly touched on this previously, but the way Copilot works is by you describing in plain English what you want to happen, and Zapier will automatically find the relevant apps and set up the workflow for you. So let me show you what this looks like. When a new video is posted, is uploaded, transcribe the video, turn the audio, turn the transcription into a blog, and then create a WordPress post, and finally update Google Sheets. So what we've done is we've given it almost each step of the process in plain English. So step 1, when a new video is uploaded, and then we've added a comma. Moving on to step 2, transcribe the video. Moving on to step 3, we add a comma, turn the transcription into a blog, and then create a WordPress post and update it, etc. And then we'll do enter. Now it's thinking and it's trying to find all the relevant and most accurate bots for us. So let's see what it's come up with. Okay, so I've just looked at this and I can see that it's not quite what I was after, but then I realized actually I wasn't specific enough with my command. So let's try updating this command so it understands it better. So when a new video is uploaded to YouTube, transcribe the video audio to text, turn the transcription into a blog, and there we have it. So let's go ahead and do enter, and this looks much better. So when there's a new video in a playlist, transcribe the file, then send the message, create a post, and then update the Google spreadsheet reel. Now, This hasn't done a perfect job for us, and it is important to remember this is still in beta, but it's given us a little bit of a foundation and an idea. So if we do try it, is see the steps that it's suggesting and giving us ideas on what sort of tools to use. So it's using a transcription software, so we could just easily change this to something like OpenAI, and now OpenAI Whisper will transcribe that audio. We can also just delete this because we don't need it. And then we could change this to ChatGPT to convert this into a blog. Then we can create a post in WordPress and update to Google Sheets. And just like that, we now have a workflow that we can start customizing and creating new workflows pretty fast. Now you might be wondering how Zapier actually charge its users. Well, we pay a monthly fee which gets us X amount of credit. Every Zap that is run and every action or trigger that is triggered will result in 1 credit. So this trigger here will be 1 credit, this will be 1 credit, this will be 1 credit, 1 credit, and 1 credit, which means that every single time this Zap runs, this will cost us a total of 5 credit. Now, there are options in Zapier that don't cost you any credits, but these are more for formatting and stuff like that. Basically, anytime you're using an external app, it's going to cost you a credit. Inside your Zap area, you can create folders and then start organizing all of your Zaps into each one of these folders. You can also quickly toggle each Zap on and off just by clicking the toggle on and off button. If you're wondering what sort of apps Zapier has on the platform, you can click on the Explore Zapier and then navigate through all the categories of Zaps relevant to each category. So for AI style apps, it's got a ton of different style apps. They also have a community area where you can ask the community any questions that you get stuck on, and they usually help. The only downside to Zapier is the customer support. Once you start getting a bit technical with what you're trying to achieve, it's not that often that they're actually able to help because they only have so many developers at hand to assist on the more complicated workflows. This is quite a negative, but you do have the community with lots of experienced people who can help you out. Let me know what else you'd like me to cover if you're just getting started with Zapier. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.